Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. Mayor Peterson Francis says Hospital Road is nearly impassable due to improper parking along the side of the road by vehicle owners. The iron fist of the mayor will be cracking down on this issue. He says efforts will be made to ensure the road network is free from vehicles.
The efforts of the mayor of Castries, Peterson Francis, have not gone unnoticed. The mayor has toughened up on crime, public urination, and noise pollution. However, his efforts to clamp down on parking violations in the community of Hospital Road has been met with angst from vehicle owners. The mayor responded to criticism that his hard stance on parking along Hospital Road is too severe by saying he is only enforcing the laws of the land.
There's no hostility to me, and I don't consider that to be hostility to Peterson Francis. The law is there, and it is in the law that the road, Hospital Road, is a no parking street. That's the law. It's not Peterson Francis that just proclaim a law. It's the law.
With residents in the area mainly utilizing the road network to park their vehicles due to the lack of parking space in close proximity, Francis says, as a mayor, it is not his duty to provide an alternative to parking woes once the law has been enforced and the no parking signs have been erected.
If the law says that Hospital Road is a no parking road, the mayor is now saying that the law is adhered to. So the mayor now has to look for alternative arrangement for the people living there. That is not my function, my dear. My function is to see that the city is run and run properly. If you want to live on Hospital Road and you want to buy a car, you never contacted me, so you have to make arrangement for your vehicles.
And what of the much talked about parking meters promised to aid in the alleviation of parking violations and provide vehicle owners with a needed relief from congestion typical to Castries City? The mayor says it is a matter of crossing T's and dotting I's before the meters are installed.
We are looking at the end of September by there. We just want to finalize a few things in this year, but as I say, everything is on strip.
Talks of parking meters in the city of Castries first made headlines back in October of 2016. And with no official alternative in place for the residents of Hospital Road using the network as a parking space, eyes remain on the mayor's office to ensure the meters are installed with haste. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The government and authorities should be hanging their heads in shame after years of failing to ensure protection for consumers through implementation of the Consumer Protection Act. Former president of the National Consumers Association, Kingsley St. Hill, says he is at a loss to understand why this is still taking so long. Former National Consumer Association President Kingsley St. Hill says consumers are being taken for a ride on a daily basis. He calls on Joe and Jane public to act in their interests and appreciate the value of their dollar to businesses. He says the interest of the business community is being guarded by not just associations but formidable legal teams, while consumers have an association that is small in numbers and a consumer affairs department that he says sometimes blurs the lines of whether it should facilitate commerce or protect the consumer. He says consumers have to see about themselves.
Join the Consumer Association because it is the law of numbers. You know, we do not have money to take on the top lawyers in St. Lucia. You know, the Chamber of Law and the Bar Association defended it, making this case for them. The people who are making the case for us are people like myself. Well, fortunately for me, I had a little money. I went to Canada to learn advocacy. But not one of the people in the association are trained advocates. You know, so when the Chamber have their lawyers, who's heading the Employers Federation? Vern Gill, a lawyer. So they are more equipped than us. What we have going for us is strength. And every solution listening to me this morning, tonight, tomorrow, pressure your MP. Those of you from Grosley, ask Spider when is it he going to put the law in place to stop these people putting no refunds. Ask, you come down, Ezekiel Joseph. Ask Stevenson King. Ask Philip J. Pierre.
The legal officer within the Ministry of Commerce revealed that the Consumer Protection Act passed in 2016 is awaiting a commencement date which has not yet been given, as a number of issues have been noted in the current draft. These issues are currently being discussed with the Attorney General's drafting unit. According to the department, within a short order, there will be amendments ready for the Act so the amendments can be passed and the commencement date can be given. St. Hill says he is curious, as should all St. Lucians be, about the legal process that is currently unfolding.
Now, what has happened is that the department has gone out to be meeting with Chamber of Commerce, the bar associations from what I've been told, etc., to discuss their complaints. They have not come to the NCA or the Consumer Association members to see what are your complaints. Right? They're going to the suppliers. And you know, those of us who are listening, who've been listening to news, would have heard the Director of Consumer Affairs said last week, that in the past, when people had weevil in flour, what they do, they clean it. So in this day and age, that is what the Director of Consumer Affairs would say. You know, your first interest is that of the consumer. You are not invoking in the Commerce Department. You're in Consumer Affairs Department.
Under the law, consumers can make reports to the Complaints and Investigation Unit at the Consumer Affairs Department about unfair business policies. The Consumer Affairs Department has the mandate to intervene on consumers' behalf to settle the matter with businesses. General clinical services will be provided free of charge to the St. Lucian public through the humanitarian efforts of the United States naval ship Comfort Humanitarian Mission. From the 23rd of September to the 2nd of October, the naval ship will be berthed at Port Castries and 2 walk-in clinics will be established at the Owen King EU Hospital with a 500-person capacity at each clinic. The Ministry of Health and Wellness encourages citizens to make full use of this opportunity.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in collaboration with the Ministry of External Affairs, is coordinating a humanitarian mission visit by the United States naval ship Comfort from September 23, 2019 to October 2, 2019. During its deployment, the USNS will also be visiting other Caribbean territories such as Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Kitts, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Medical Officer of Health in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Sharon Belmar, provides information on the specifics of services which will be provided by the naval mission.
The ship will be berthed at Port Castries and 2 clinics will be set up for general services. 1 clinic will be located at the Owen King EU Hospital and a second location which will be confirmed later on during the month. General services will be provided at the clinics, which include medical checkups and treatment, preventative medicine, dental cleaning, eye care with the provision of eyeglasses as well, eyewear distribution, internal medicine, pediatrics, dermatology, women's health, physiotherapy, and the provision of medication as needed. The ship's hospital, which will be berthed at Port Castries, will be providing diagnostic services which include ultrasound, CT scan, echocardiogram, X-ray services, and also interventional radiological services as well. Minor surgery will also be done on the ship. The ship has the capacity for 100 bed admissions and also 30 ICU bed capacity.
Dr. Belmar George says patients looking to access the services must take note of the 2 clinics which will be based in the Castries area. One will be located at the OKEU Hospital and the other site will be announced in the coming week, with both sites being walk-in clinics open to the general public free of charge. Additional information was provided by Dr. Belmar in regards to surgical procedures.
Surgical procedures and diagnostics that are provided on the ship hospital, we would need a referral from your physician so that we can pre-schedule the surgical cases, because the ship is able to do the necessary blood testing before surgery and whichever diagnostics that they need to do before the case. So those need to be scheduled.
She says local medical health professionals will be working with the U.S. medical teams during this mission. The medical staff from the USNS will also be following the requirements for local health professional registration bodies. For further information, contact the medical officer at the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5386. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
With the island gearing up to gallop into the world of gaming, racing and betting with the development of the DSH horse racing track, commonly known as the DSH project, legislation is being bolstered to ensure an ironclad act to avoid any discrepancies. In that vein, amendments are being made to legislation governing the gaming, racing and betting bill. In the House of Assembly on the 20th of August, Prime Minister Alan Chastanet outlined those amendments. However, the leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, pointed out areas of concern. Solange Alfred reports.
The Gaming, Racing and Betting Bill has been in effect for more than 6 months. In that time period, the bill has been tested. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet during the August 20th sitting of Parliament says this test run brought to light areas within the bill which needed modification. He says terminology used in the Act would be amended amongst other changes. One of those changes to the bill was brought up by Leader of the Opposition Philip J. Pierre as being unfair to individuals who have been charged with misdemeanor criminal offenses versus those violating the Gaming, Racing and Betting Act. Pierre begged to question why such leniency for gaming offenders but not other misdemeanor criminal acts.
The same provisions in the criminal code, but they should not be the same in the Gaming, Racing and Betting Act. Why is it so lenient in that case in terms of the sentences and the rehabilitation periods in the criminal code so high? I don't know why is there such a conflict between the two acts. I should think that it should be the same, because in that act it's easier for you to get rehabilitated. It's easier for you to get pardoned if you have an offense in gaming than if you have a regular offense and that comes to mind the non-custodial sentence in terms of marijuana, 5 years, which is the same for gaming. So I'm wondering whether it should not be the same, and why the difference. Is there any special reason why that period of rehabilitation is shorter in terms of gaming than it is in terms of regular criminal activity in the country?
On the other hand, Prime Minister Chastanet says the two are incomparable. He explains the criminal code governs criminal offences and is of the opinion any breach within the Gaming, Racing and Betting Act would not be considered criminal.
The reason for the difference in the time period is exactly as he outlined. One is in the criminal code and deals with convicted criminals, whereas we're dealing with the rules of the horse racing track. So I'm not so sure that if a person is found guilty of a breach in the rules of the gaming track, that's a criminal, would be warranted as being classified as a criminal, but certainly would be in breach of the rules of the entity. So I think to merge the two would not necessarily be sensible, given that the gravity of the infraction certainly would not be comparable between one being the rules of the game and one being in conflict with the criminal code of St. Lucia.
As it stands, Amendment 20 makes provisions for individuals who show through clear and convincing evidence they have rehabilitated within a 5-year period prior to denial of issuance of a license due to breach of the Act and can be granted a gaming license. The amendments to the Gaming, Racing and Betting Bill went through Parliament with the majority vote. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us, there's more news coming up after the break.